taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Pretty violent and pretty one-sided too. And I'm talking about Miguel Berchelt and Jeremiah Nakathila. Now we didn't do a preview for this because we were kind of like, Nakathila got blanked and dropped by Shakur Stevenson in a horrible fight, and then Berchelt took an ass whooping and then nearly got killed by Oscar Valdez. So it was so pretty much it was like they were on both ends of a spectrum of struggle. Like you didn't know what we were we just didn't know.
All we knew was we was getting some leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. So we were just like, But
you had too much food on the table to really talk about leftover. Sorry, but
yeah, it was.
Is what it is.
But the fun thing is too is I started having these feelings. When the fight got closer and I started paying attention to some of the stuff, something was telling me. And I was talking and I talked to LB maybe about an hour before that shit came on. I was like, yo, I think Berchelt might be in some trouble. I just had the feeling that Berchelt was going to be put through hell. I was telling LB this. I was like, and then LB's like, yeah, he had the feeling too. Something was. Yeah.
And what was the last thing I said? I was like, man, Bavada down. It's fucking up.
Yeah, exactly.
Every so often, it's the card of the fight you don't expect that actually shows out.
Yeah,
it was the hints were there. Pat was absolutely correct. The hints were there.
Yeah,
we was just too. Like I said, it was leftovers. You had Kiko Warrington, which was a better fight. Yeah, Bridges fight. That's two fights that we cared about. And the Showtime card. That's 5 fights. Nigga, come on.
Yeah, so we were just but we were like, okay, if something happened on that card, I'll talk about it. Well, something did happen on that card. Berchelt, looked spent. He looked like a pure spent fighter, and he absorbed a horrible beating from Jeremiah Nakathila, who was just Nakathila was talking his shit too before. He was like, look, man, today's a new day. That Shakur shit, that's in the past. I'm coming here from Nambia and I'm gonna knock dude out. He said mad confident too about that. And dude came out with fire in his eyes. Nakathila, his record says he could punch. And now obviously we didn't see it too much in the Shakur fight because Shakur sweet science the fuck out of him. And dropped him. But Nakathila, Berchelt wasn't interested in no sweet sciencing. But bruh was out there, his legs were shaky, his movement was shaky, and he decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to bomb dude up. But the problem was he was a little bit slower. Nakathila had that right hand cocked.
Nah, man, I just watched the fight, dude. He was on some super defensive shit the first 4 rounds, man. He wasn't trying to bomb shit out. This nigga
yeah, but he was also getting caught, nigga. That's the thing. You could tell Berchelt, his reflexes went because the first knockdown was in the 3rd round. Nakathila dropped him with a hard jab, he dropped him he was Forte.
And the thing is, it was a double jab. He ate the first one, then it's dude, move your head. He's nah.
Exactly.
And he ate the second one and got dropped.
Yeah, the funny thing is that he was trying to be defensive, but at the same time, he was still catching work, though, because that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was you could tell somebody drilled a defense into his head because this was the most defense he showed ever. But it was he was 80% defense and 20% offense, but he was still getting caught from a guy, even though he was being more defensively sound. And against a guy like Nakathila, Nakathila was throwing bombs. He wasn't trying to box dude, and you can't be all cute with a guy like that. It's not the time to be trying to show off your defense when a guy is out there trying to take your head off. You gotta make him respect you a little bit. And I feel like Berchelt, he took too long to do that. He let this nigga get confidence for 4 rounds, drop him. And then he made it a war, but it's dude, you already kind of got punishment from the first 3-4 rounds. You make it a war in the 5th round.
Yeah,
don't make it a war when your power meter is in the orange, nigga.
Yeah, and Nakathila, it was like he called him like, it was like dude loaded up some serious punches to his head and to his body. Like it was one of those things like, and it looked like it almost looked like a damn carbon copy of the fucking Valdez fight where you see him catching all this work. So you're just looking to see, is like, okay, are they gonna pull this nigga out, or is Nakathila gonna land a right hand that's gonna make this nigga drop face first on the canvas and have him like convulse like Apollo Creed after Ivan Drago or some shit like that. Like,
God damn. Graphics.
Like, I mean, honestly, that's how I was feeling, because I was like, yo, because I was looking, I was like, yo, this guy's taking too much. Like, yo, like Berchelt, he's not moving right. Like, he's moving like he's shot. Like, you know, his face was getting lumped up and everything like that. So it was just like nothing he was doing. And then I think it was in the 6th round where Nakathila lands a 1-2. Like the 2 snapped it in. I mean, the 1 had dislodged his mouthpiece slightly. The 2 sent his mouthpiece flying and his head snapping violently back.
Okay.
But, yeah, but the ref though I think this is where the ref also fucked up. Like the ref, because you're almost supposed to stop the action when there's a lull in the action. Like, you know, he kind of stopped him at the point, you know, not letting Nakathila do what he was going to do, because he probably could have knocked him out there and there. But you know, Berchelt I think got like 20 seconds something to rest.
Yeah. Like that was helping Berchelt. Like, and my whole thing is, if Berchelt would have just went at Nakathila like how he did in the 5th round, if he'd have started the fight like that, I don't think he would even taken as much punishment as he did. Like, he probably even could have possibly won, because he was rocking. Like, these dudes were having a legit shootout, but the guy with the better punch resistance, you know, pretty much won.
Yeah, he did. You know, and like, it pretty much is after that round, like, his corner was like, nah, we can't let you go out there anymore. Like, we have to stop this shit. You know, and it was honestly, it was the right thing to do. It was the absolute right thing to do.
Yep.
And Nakathila got the upset. And I only wish to actually saw what the odds were for him winning, and for him winning by knockout.
By him by knockout, it was it was honestly, the odds for him winning by decision were better. No. I didn't even it was like, I think 14-1 or 10-1, something high like that.
Yeah, and I can see that too, because Nakathila has a high KO record, so high KO percentage. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's gonna, you know, if he beats him by decision, yeah, I can see that.
I'm looking for it right now. Let me see. Come on. Get these niggas waiting to say.
I mean,
it was plus 575. Sorry about that. Plus 575.
Right, so yeah, I mean,
for the KO.
So yeah, if you gambled a little bit, yeah, you might have got a little scratch from betting on Nakathila knocking him out. I got him a
little something, not much, but I ain't, you know.
Yeah. And the worst thing too is like the official cards pretty much that Nakathila won every round. Like, I mean, it was all the same. All the judges had it 60-53. So it's like, yeah, the Berchelt didn't win not one fucking round in that fight.
Matter of fact, Goucher was a bigger underdog. Like, Goucher by KO was like plus 1,400.
Shit.
And he's like, and to me, he's like the more proven harder puncher than me. Like,
yeah, well, shit, that's
and him and Goucher winning just was plus 650, but Nakathila, he was plus 575, and I think for a decision he was like, I think plus 10 or something.
Yeah, I could definitely believe the decision odds, man. But but honestly, yeah, it was a feel good movie for Nakathila, because like I said, he redeemed himself after his first performance against Shakur. You know, and by proxy, Shakur probably, that victory over him probably looks a lot better. Even though, like I said, that fight was not hitting. Like, it's not a fight. I still won't go. I still won't go back and watch it unless I want to go to sleep. For real.
I say everybody has those opponents. I mean, has those fights like that, and some people have more fights like that than others.
Oh, we got a question, Shell. Oh, my dude Doc. Yo, what's good, Doc? I see you, man. He said the real question is, where does Nakathila go from here? Well, I'm pretty sure not Eddie, excuse me. Bob is gonna find a place for him somewhere. He's not signed to top him, obviously, but he knocked out one of his marquee fighters. So
he'll be back on Top Rank and might be in another main event slot.
Yeah, and what made this worse is because both guys were coming up from super featherweight, so there was no reason for Berchelt to be catching the type of ass whooping that he got from this. But
this is the thing, like he's used to fighting bigger. I mean, he's used to fighting, smaller, older, worn guys. Like Nakathila is in his prime, and he's a big, strong dude who throws punches and who hits hard. Like.
Yeah,
Berchelt ain't really fight nobody like that in quite some time. I mean, besides Valdez, of course, who he was the favorite over, and who he was bigger.
He was big. He was the bigger fighter over Valdez, and got brutalized. And shout out to Anthony Manzano, MOB. Peace. I see you guys. Hi guys. I see you. Hi guys. So
salute.
But yeah, Nakathila, like I said, he has options right now. I mean, he's at lightweight. Lightweight's a hot division right now, and with all like this new talent, particularly with the signing of Devin Haney, and there's gonna be a lot of influx, and we'll definitely talk about Devin Haney later in the podcast. So lightweight, it's a hot division. So Nakathila, he has a place right in there, bodying someone on the level like Miguel Berchelt. Like he's good. Like he's in a good spot right now.
Don't say he's too good, because didn't they'll somehow have him fighting Ryan Garcia or somebody
or they could feed him to Loma or some shit.
Yeah, like nah, like
but
keep it in perspective.
You could tell how genuinely happy he was after this post-fight interview.
He was happy. He was confident. He said what he was going to do. He said what he was going to do, and he did it.
He was
nothing but respect.
That overhand right just didn't get tired.
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
That
Especially when somebody is just daring you to land it because they want to play Perdell Whitaker and shit. Like,
that mouthpiece had Berchelt second guessing his career.
That shit went flying.
That shit flew out the ring.
Out of his mouth. Like that shit
I think that was out the ring, bro. And it's fucking sad that second fight in a row for Berchelt to go and end up in going to the ambulance.
So that's the thing. Like if you watch the ESPN version, like after Bradley and Co were finished talking and shit like that, you saw him being strapped up on the stretcher and being put in the ambulance to be taken off to the hospital for 2 fights in a row. But at least this time he was probably like awake. I mean, he was conscious. He wasn't like still out there, like still shot to pieces or whatever, like it was against for Valdez. So Berchelt, he also put out the word that he's gonna come back stronger. But honestly, I think this might be the end. I mean, it might be looking like the end of the line for him because it's like nothing from that fight was telling me that dude should continue. Like he was, and the fun things too. Because Berchelt has a place. Berchelt was the cleanup guy after the Fades era that 130 was once in. He basically cleaned up all the guys that were pretty much brutalizing each other fight after fight, and then in turn he got cleaned up by someone who's not really a top contender.
Ignoble ending for the arena.
Yeah, boxing always has the kind of those weird ironies, like Personally, Berchelt should not continue. Should not continue, but he's gonna want to. But I just honestly think right now, like Nakathila and Valdez, especially Valdez, probably took a lot out of him. So it's like you can't even. So you either gotta put him on training. You have to put him on training wheels.
I don't even know why they let him fight a puncher coming back after all that time and from such a knockout. Like, man, Bob be damn just disposing of dudes.
Honestly, Bob was like, Bob was like, you know what,
it'd be so random because it's like even Dog Bay got some training wheel fights. Like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like it's either Berchelt walks away or you'll see him headlining lower level Mexican club cards for the rest of the years. So hopefully,
he's gonna have to. And the funny thing too is like Berchelt mentioned in an interview that the reason why he moved up too was simply because the money was better. And it's like, well, I mean, you might not get to the point where you might be able to get to that money if you're losing.
All right, damn. So, wow, that's a sad part because it makes me think like, what were they paying him before?
I mean, boxing. You know how boxing is like. Some of these cats get paid. Especially, obviously the peso, dollar. I mean, the dollar is strong in Mexico, but like I said, boxing has a lot of other deals that might go on in the back that we're never aware of. But if he's actually saying that, then something must really be up that we don't know about.
Yeah, god damn. But yo, Pat, we got a question here.
We do, yeah. I saw from Anthony Manzana. If Josh Warrington beats Kiko Martinez, do you think he gives the shot to Mauricio Lara because he's a mandatory, or do you think Josh avoids the fight completely after what happened last time? Well, I mean, he did beat Kiko Martinez, so
yeah.
Now, how, if he gets the shot, I mean, Lara. I mean, obviously, Lara would probably have to be like Mando in order to actually say, IBF's like, because the IBF doesn't fuck around. If the IBF names a Mando for a champion, they gotta fight him, else they're gonna get stripped. So like,
and didn't he kind of have all that shit happen before already? Like,
yeah, and like I said, Warrington faced Lara twice. So yeah, I don't see Warrington willingly facing him like doing optional title defense unless the IBF orders him to.
Like low key, I think. Like I think he would fight the fight if he has to, and I think he does want a little get back. But I don't know if his handlers and he would do that fight right away. Like, it'd be like the Berchelt shit all over again. Like, even though he won, Lara's a hard fight to come back to. Right. I mean, he knows it better than all of us.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd be surprised if Warrington goes after Lara without it being mandated. But if he does, hey, motherfucker, has balls of steel then to actually get back in the ring.
We gave him props for going after him right after the loss anyway.
Yeah, we did. We absolutely did.
He had respect in my book then, so I ain't gonna get on the man now if he don't fight Lara.
Yeah, most likely now, it's clear now that Warrington wants to fight with Lee Wood. Lee Wood wants Warrington. Eddie wants to fight with both of them. It's clear what will probably be Warrington's next fight, depending on how certain things fall. But yeah, Lara, unfortunately, might just going to be the odd man out, for a little bit. I mean, unless
Navarrete wants that.
Yeah, unless Navarrete wants it, or and Maxwell already has a title defense this July or whatever, and so yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I mean, Lara's probably gonna have to wait a little longer for his title shot. He really shouldn't, because he got fucked out of his title shot. But
cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, that's the way. Boxing politics is a motherfucker to deal with, and just like this, Berchelt is like Berchelt and Nakathila, man. It's politics, man. So, I mean, like I said, Berchelt says he's gonna come back. We'll see. Nakathila, definitely earned himself a couple of. A new pay, some more paydays, and shout out to him for that.
Facts.
Yeah, and but the rest of the card, was kind of up and down. I mean, it wasn't even a bad card for some. I definitely gotta mention fucking Josu Vargas. Like, that fight was probably the most infamous fight on the whole shit.
That boy the dude he fought got robbed. That's for sure.
Well, the funny thing is, I can't say he got robbed because DeMario,
because he bit dude's shoulder, because of the shoulder.
Yeah, he bit dude on the shoulder. Like, what the fuck? And he knocked dude down in that round. Like, he was winning that round. Like, he didn't need to do anything. Like, he had a 10-8. It's like, and he bit dude on the shoulder. Like, that. What the fuck are you doing? Like, you're actually whooping his ass, and you bit him on the shoulder. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you serious? Because yeah, I think because maybe Vargas was moving around too much, but then you managed to catch him with a fucking check hook with your left hand, and you dropped him hard. Like, so. Damn,
Vargas still getting hit with lefts.
Hell yeah. Yeah, honestly, if Vargas went down, was it twice? Yeah, well, one wasn't called, one was called. I think.
Hold on. Who was the ref? Benji Estevez?
No, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. But
He be missing knockdowns like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, because Vargas won a unanimous decision, but he won it like 76-73 and then 76-74 times 2. Like, dude almost drew with this guy with a 15-5-3 cap. You know.
Hold on, so wait. He fought the guy that Berchelt should have been fighting, but he still like pretty much lost, or
that's what I think it's Rob. Yeah, he almost lost. I think the bite in the shoulder kind of gave him that little cushion, and then Vargas was kind of boxing him up in the last couple of rounds or whatever. But Vargas caught some hands in this fight. Like, I mean, he looked terrible. Like, he looked like it was the. Like,
so it could have been a draw at the very least.
Yeah, it would have been like I said, if dude, it was one of those things like if dude didn't bite or whatever.
The way Pilot was sounding, like dude was like beating his ass pillar to post.
I mean, he put hands on him, but he didn't. It wasn't pillar to post though. But it was close enough where a draw was, a draw could have been a thing if it wasn't for a couple of DeMario, kind of losing his.
Oh, okay. He just beat him pillar to living room.
Yeah, but for Josu Vargas, like that type of performance is not good. That was that's a big no.
J Media.
And then also too another one of their signings, Carlos Caballo. He's the one that suffered the upset loss against Sultan, where he went down 4 times. And by 1, he almost. He almost drew with a guy that was 9-6, because that guy was giving him a lot of trouble. Like, that fight went the distance, and now no knockdowns or nothing, and dude won a majority decision in that one. Like, very close. Like, that shit was almost a draw too. Yeah, so I know, Bob, those two might be on thin ice right now.
Yeah, Josu got saved for another. To job to somebody, it looks like, because he don't have it.
Yeah, and Caraballo has power, but that I think he might lackey the boxing a little bit. So yeah, I mean, if he lets a 9-6 cat put hands on him, like, and then he couldn't get rid of him, we couldn't even hurt him really. So yeah, and then also definitely got to mention Eduardo Baez winning the co-main event too, because if you know Baez. His last fight up was against Aleem, and if you saw that fight, that Aleem fight was that kind of brought Aleem back down to earth for me and LB, because Aleem, if you saw last year, like, his first fight was like, damn, this nigga looked like the truth, but Aleem against him, like, Baez was putting foot to ass. I think that was the fight where we said Mexicans were kind of really determined not to be jobbers that night.
Dude. Mexicans were whooping ass that night. You could have tell a Mexican he couldn't box that night. The Mexicans the niggas were struggling with the Mexicans that night.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Mexico.
Yeah, so dude came into this fight against Jose Vivas and won himself a hard majority decision. Like, it was an underrated fight though. It was a really good fight. Like, I was fucking with it. So, and I was glad to see dude get some sort of get back on the stage like that. So, it was a pretty good top rank card. I was entertained. The main event, like I said, it's kind of sad that Berchelt fell the way he did, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles in boxing, man.
Yeah, and you got to remember all the legends he was beating up on.
Yeah, like the Vargas, the Salitos, the what's his name, man. The Asian cat that that was also warring too with him. Yeah. Miura, there we go. I was like, yeah, that's the guy, dude. Yeah, like dude. Yeah, he, I mean, he had a good run as as champion though. But yeah, I think time is up on Berchelt. So.